Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into something almost everyone faces, job interviews.
Right. It's a universal experience, isn't it?
Absolutely. And we're looking at it through the lens of the Robert English Coach audio guide. It's designed to help you, build the confidence, but specifically through language skills.
Yeah, what I find interesting is how it connects those common interview questions, the ones we all dread sometimes, directly to specific English grammar points, like tenses, conditionals.
Exactly. It's not just general advice.
No, it's very practical. It's about knowing how to say things effectively.
So our mission here is to pull out the really useful bits, the key strategies from these 50 questions and answers in the guide.
Think of it like getting the inside track. Not just what to say, but the language tools you need to say it in a way that really lands well.
Showcasing your skills and your personality, hopefully.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
It helps you build that professional story. Handle tricky hypotheticals. Talk about the past constructively.
Reflect on feedback. Express your values. It covers a lot.
It really does. It's a whole communication strategy.
Okay, so let's start where interviews often begin. Building that professional narrative. The guide kicks off with this, questions 1 to 10. And it really zooms in on using the right tenses, present simple, continuous, present perfect, simple past.
And the insight there, I think, is that it's not just about grammar rules. It's about how using, say, the present perfect.
Like, I've worked in marketing for 7 years.
Exactly. That tense subtly tells the interviewer about your continuous commitment, your stability. It's more than just listing dates on a CV.
That's a really good point. It adds a layer of meaning. So the guide gives you phrases like, maybe I'm a motivated professional with 5 years experience.
Yeah, or I currently work at a digital agency. Using present continuous for what's happening now.
Or using the simple past clearly for specific achievements. In my last role, I managed social media campaigns.
Right, and quantifying things like, I exceeded sales targets by 20%. It's about being precise.
And it also touches on teamwork, communication skills learned from past roles, building that whole picture.
It's about showing growth and impact, not just duties.
Okay, so once you've laid out your experience, the guide moves into something trickier. Questions 11 to 20, navigating hypotheticals and problem solving.
Ah, yes, the what-if questions. This is where conditionals come, and conditional 0, 1, and 2.
And this is really about showing how you think, isn't it? Your approach to future situations or problems.
Absolutely. It's about foresight, adaptability. Can you think on your feet?
The examples are helpful here, like how to answer, what would you do if a client complained?
And the suggested approach is something like, well, if a client complains, I first listen very carefully, understand the issue, and then work to solve it quickly. Shows a process.
Right. Or what would you do in your first month?
Yeah, in my first month, I'll focus on learning the company processes and building relationships with my new team. Strategic priorities.
It even covers how to handle disagreements with a manager, respectfully. Suggesting alternatives.
That's key. It's not just about disagreeing. It's about constructive dialogue.
And there are other hypotheticals too, like choosing a location. Why London? Well, it's a global business hub.
Or taking a lower salary for growth potential. The guide suggests framing it like, yes, I would consider it if it offered significant long-term growth opportunities.
That if is doing a lot of work there.
It is. It shows you weigh options, and it covers practical things too, like what if a project falls behind? How do you reassess? It's all about proactive problem solving.
Okay, so you've shown how you'd handle the future. Then the guide circles back to the past, but with a focus on reflection. Questions 21 to 30, reflecting on past decisions and outcomes.
This is super important. It's where you show you can actually learn from things. Conditional 3 comes in handy here, the what might have been conditional.
Right, like if we had set clearer deadlines, we would have avoided.
Exactly. Or using the passive voice, maybe to talk about a promotion without sounding like you're bragging.
So.
Like saying, I was promoted from coordinator to manager after 2 years. It focuses on the event, the achievement itself.
Okay, subtle shift. And comparatives too, right? Comparing approaches.
Yes, comparing team versus solo work, for instance. Teamwork is generally easier for brainstorming, but decision-making can sometimes be slower, showing balanced understanding.
Or reflecting on resource constraints. If the budget had been higher, I would have invested in more advanced software tools.
See, it turns a past limitation into a demonstration of strategic thinking. What would you do if things were different? It shows you understand resource allocation and potential improvements.
It really highlights that growth mindset employers look for,
Definitely. It's not about dwelling on mistakes, but learning from outcomes.
which flows nicely into the next bit, questions 31 to 40. This is about unpacking nuance, feedback, and inner thoughts. This feels like it requires even more sophisticated language.
It does. This section uses things like past modals, should have, could have, might have, plus reported speech and indirect questions.
So getting into those slightly more complex areas of communication.
Right. It's about showing you can analyze things deeply, handle feedback thoughtfully, and articulate, well, more subtle ideas.
Okay, so examples might be using should have to reflect on delegation. Like, looking back, I should have delegated that task earlier.
Precisely. Or using might have to consider someone else's perspective. The client might have been dissatisfied if we missed the deadline. Shows empathy and awareness.
A reported speech for sharing feedback.
Yeah, like, my manager told me that I was highly reliable and proactive, or simply, she said I was highly reliable. It's about relaying information accurately.
Got it. And the guide also uses this section to cover things like managing stress.
Right. How do you manage stress? Well, I find organizing my priorities helps, and I also take short breaks. Shows self-management.
Or even inner feelings.
Yeah.
What must you have felt when you got promoted? Oh, I must have felt proud and really motivated. It accesses that internal state.
It allows for expressing those more complex thoughts and reactions in a professional way.
Okay, bringing it all home. The final set, questions 41 to 50, expressing opinions and professional values.
Yeah, this is where you tie it all together. You use all the language skills you've practiced to talk about your core beliefs, your work philosophy. It uses mixed topics, lots of good business vocabulary.
So this is your chance to show the why behind your work ethic.
Exactly. What really drives you? What do you stand for professionally?
The guide gives examples like describing your most challenging project, perhaps, a product launch with a very tight deadline, and explaining why it was challenging and how you handled it.
Or tackling that awkward, are you overqualified question.
Right. The suggested answer is confident but respectful. No, I believe my experience is a strong match for the challenges of this role.
It reframes experience as an asset, and it gives you language to argue for things like employee training. Should companies invest more? Absolutely. It boosts performance and loyalty. Strong stance.
It also covers personal boundaries like working weekends.
Yeah, suggesting it's acceptable only when necessary for critical deadlines. Showing commitment, but also respect for work-life balance.
And ultimately answering, why should we hire you? By synthesizing your strengths. My combination of creativity, organization, and leadership skills makes me a strong candidate.
It brings it all together. And that final piece of advice for a new employee.
Always ask questions and never stop learning.
Perfect summary of that growth mindset again.
So we've really covered a lot of ground here, looking at how the Robert English Coach Guide breaks down interview success.
Yeah, from building your story with the right tenses.
To navigating those tricky what-if scenarios using conditionals.
Reflecting on the past with nuance, handling feedback.
And finally, expressing your core values with clarity.
The big takeaway, I think, for you listening is that interviewing well isn't just about having the right experience on paper.
Right. It's so much about how you communicate that experience, using language strategically.
It's about painting a compelling picture of yourself as a professional, showing your thinking, your learning ability, your future potential.
And the guide shows how mastering these different question types and the language structures behind them really empowers you to do that.
It gives you the tools to turn that interview conversation into your professional narrative.
Okay, so here's a final thought to leave you with. Imagine you're wrapping up a great interview. If you could ask yourself one question right at the end, a question designed to perfectly capture your unique value or your forward-looking approach, what question would you choose for yourself and why?
That's a good one. Something to really mull over.
Robert English Coach.